Thunder shook the sky. Rain was falling like buckets. The big iron gate of a rich mansion rattled with every gust of wind. Eli stood there in a thin, old jacket. His hands were shaking from the cold. Water dripped from his hair. But he stayed at his post. Guard of the gate. Guard of someone else's kingdom. A black luxury car stopped in front of him. The headlights cut through the rain like knives. The window rolled down. Inside sat Mr. Carter. Rich businessman. Expensive suit. Angry eyes. Mr. Carter shouted. Why was the gate closed? Do you want my car to drown in water out there? Eli bowed his head. Sir, the road is flooded. I was just being careful, sir. I thought. Don't think. Mr. Carter cut him off. You are just a guard. You are paid to stand and open. Not to think. Eli swallowed. His lips were blue from cold. Sir, I have been here since afternoon. My shift is over. Can I go home now? My little son is sick. I need to buy medicine. Mr. Carter laughed a cold laugh. In this storm? You should thank me you have a job at all. Eli tried again, softly. Please, sir. I really need this job, but I also need to take care of my child. Mr. Carter's eyes turned hard. You know what? He said. You don't need to worry about this job anymore. Eli looked up, confused. Yes, sir. You're fired, Mr. Carter snapped. Right now. Take your cheap umbrella and get lost. I don't want to see your face at my gate again. The camera would stay on Eli's face. His eyes filling with tears. Rain hiding his pain. If you were in his place, what would you do? Eli whispered. Sir, in this storm? Where will I go? Mr. Carter turned his face away. Not my problem. People like you are everywhere. I can hire 10 more guards by morning. He pressed the button. The gate opened slowly. The car drove inside. The gate closed again with a loud iron sound. Eli stood alone on the empty road. Lightning flashed. He picked up his small torn bag. He walked into the dark, heavy rain. He did not know that the same gate would make the rich man kneel before him. Before this night ended. Earlier that day, the sky was still clear. But trouble was already building. Eli had been working as a guard for 3 years. He watched the gate from morning till night. He greeted visitors. He opened the gate. He closed the gate. He protected a house that was not his. Inside the house lived Mr. Carter, his wife Grace, and their teenage daughter Mia. They were rich. They had cars. They had servants. They had everything. Eli had one small room in a poor area. A sick child. And a wife, Anna, who stitched clothes at home. In the morning, Eli called Anna from his cheap phone. Anna said, in a tired voice. Eli, our son has fever again. We have no more medicine. Eli closed his eyes. He felt his chest tighten. I will ask for my salary today, he said. I will bring medicine. Don't worry. Give him a wet cloth on his forehead. He put his phone back. He straightened his simple uniform. He went back to the gate. Inside the mansion, Mia complained to her mother. Mom, why do we even need that guard? He looks so poor. It makes the house look cheap. Grace replied. Don't worry. Your father said he will hire a new security company soon. Professional. Not these village type guards. Mia laughed. He should go stand in the rain somewhere else, not in front of our house. Hours passed. Clouds gathered. Wind picked up. The first drops of rain touched the dusty road. Eli watched the sky. He thought of his son's burning forehead. He thought of the empty shelf where medicine should be. When evening came, the rain turned into a heavy storm. Roads started to fill with dirty water. Cars splashed as they passed. Eli's shift should have ended at 6 p.m. But the next guard did not come. He called the security office. Sir, is someone coming to replace me? The storm is getting worse. The man on phone said lazily. Everyone is stuck in traffic. Stay there. What else will you do? Sleep at the gate? Ha ha ha. Eli hung up. He hugged himself, trying to stay warm. He saw Mia and Grace step out in fancy dresses. Mia held a small golden umbrella. They got into a car. As they passed, Mia rolled down her window and looked at Eli's wet uniform. She whispered to her mother, but loud enough for him to hear. Look how he's shivering. He should be paying us to stand in front of such a big house. They laughed. The driver drove them away to a party. Night fell. The storm turned wild. Eli's shoes were full of water. His hands were numb. He finally closed the gate to stop the water from flowing in too fast. He thought, if I keep it open, the whole front area will flood. The cars will get stuck. He was trying to protect the house. He was being loyal. But he was poor. So his loyalty did not matter. Then Mr. Carter's car came. We are back to the scene you saw in the hook. The shouting. The humiliation. The words, "You're fired." Eli walked away in the storm. He didn't even have bus money. He walked with slow steps, each one heavier than the last. Behind him, the gate stood alone. The security camera above it blinked with red light. A black SUV with its headlights off stopped near a corner and watched the mansion. Inside that SUV, two men in hoodies stared at the house. One of them said, "So the guard is gone now. Perfect night for work, isn't it?" The other smiled. "Storm will hide everything." The camera zooms out on the dark street. What are they planning to do at that gate? After firing Eli, Mr. Carter went inside his warm, bright house. He threw his keys on the table. He took off his wet coat. A maid gave him a towel. He wiped his hair and said proudly, "I fired that useless guard. Couldn't even keep the gate open properly." Grace looked up from her phone. "Good. He always looked so desperate. We should call the security agency tomorrow and get a proper uniformed guard." Mia added, "Dad, make sure the new guard is young and smart, not old and poor like him." Everyone laughed. Except one. In the corner, the old cook, Mr. Samuel, heard everything. He had been poor once too. He knew Eli was kind. He quietly said, "Sir, Eli was loyal. He stood here in the heat and cold. Maybe he just needed some help tonight." Mr. Carter frowned. "Samuel, you cook. You don't give me lectures. Remember that." Samuel lowered his eyes. "Yes, sir." The storm outside grew louder. Lightning flashed again and again. Later that night, Mr. Carter had to go to an urgent business meeting. A foreign client had just landed and was waiting at a hotel. He took his keys and said to Grace, "I'll be back in a few hours. Lock the doors. Don't open for anyone." Grace nodded. "Okay. Drive safe." He walked out, pressed the remote, and the big gate slowly opened. He drove away into the wild rain. Hours passed. It was close to midnight when he returned. The storm was even worse now. Trees were shaking. Water was knee-deep in some parts. He reached his house and pressed the remote for the gate. Nothing happened. He pressed again. Still nothing. He leaned forward and saw something scary. The power box near the gate was sparking. The storm had damaged it. The big iron gate stood shut. No guard. No light. No movement. Mr. Carter cursed under his breath. What is this now? He tried calling Grace, but his phone showed 1% battery. He dialed. No answer. The storm noise was too loud. Maybe she didn't hear it. He got out of his car with an umbrella. Rain hit his face like icy needles. He banged on the gate. "Grace. Mia. Open the gate." But the house was big. The wind took away his voice. No one heard him. He tried to push the gate. It was heavy. It was locked from the inside. He looked around. The street was almost empty. Water splashed around his expensive shoes. For the first time that night, he felt small, like he did not control everything. As he stood there, wet and angry, a black SUV slowly appeared from the dark. It stopped a few meters away. The window came down. A man with a hood and a fake smile looked at him. "Need help, sir?" the man asked. "You look stuck." Mr. Carter hesitated. "Yes. My gate isn't opening. The system is dead. Do you have a phone charger? My battery is dying." The man gave a quick glance to his partner. Then replied kindly, "Of course. Come sit inside. We can also help you jump the gate from the side. I know this area very well." Mr. Carter, shivering and desperate, agreed. He felt he had no choice. He got into the SUV. The men looked at each other again and smiled in a way that did not reach their eyes. They drove slowly along the side wall of his mansion, where a small service gate was. One man jumped out and checked it. "Look, sir," he said. "This small gate is weak. We can push it and go inside. Then we can open the main gate from inside for your car." Mr. Carter nodded. "Fine. Just open it quickly. I'm freezing." They pushed the small gate. It opened with a creaking sound. All three of them entered inside the property. The garden was dark and full of moving shadows. Rain hit the glass windows of the house. The men did not walk towards the control box. They walked straight towards the house door. Mr. Carter frowned. "Hey, the gate control is that way, not here." One of them turned. The smile on his face was gone now. "Relax, sir," he said. "We will take care of your gate. After we take care of your house." He pulled something from his pocket. A metal rod. The other man did the same. Mr. Carter stepped back, his heart beating fast. "What are you doing?" he whispered. "My family is inside." The man replied coldly. "Exactly." Inside the mansion, Grace heard a sudden loud knock. Before she could react, the door burst open. The two men rushed in, pushing Mr. Carter ahead. Grace screamed. Mia stood frozen on the stairs. "Don't shout," one man shouted. "Everyone stay quiet, and nobody gets hurt." He pushed Mr. Carter to the floor. His head hit the edge of the table. For the first time, Mr. Carter felt the real fear that Eli had felt earlier. Fear of being helpless. Mia ran towards her father, crying, "Dad!" One of the men grabbed her arm. "Stay back, girl," Grace begged with shaking hands. "Please, please don't hurt my daughter. Take whatever you want." The man looked around at the big house. "Don't worry, madam. We will." He tossed a bag at Grace. "Jewelry. Cash. Phones. Now." As she rushed to obey, tears running down her face, the other man dragged Mr. Carter towards the living room. "Big man, right?" he whispered. "Shouting at poor guards outside, but now look at you." Mr. Carter's lips trembled. He realized. These men must have been watching the house. They knew the guard was gone. They chose this night. Because of his own pride. He heard one of the thieves say, "That old guard used to sit by this gate all night. When we saw you throw him out in the storm, we knew it was our chance." Every word fell on Mr. Carter's heart like stones. Outside, the iron gate stood silent in the rain. Nobody was there to protect it. Or was there? Far down the road, a thin figure walked slowly through the floodwater. Eli. His hair was dripping. His legs were tired. But he kept looking back at the mansion. Something inside him felt wrong. He remembered the black SUV parked earlier. He remembered the way the men inside had watched the house. He whispered to himself. "No guard, big house, storm night. This is not safe." He stopped. He turned around. He walked back towards the mansion. Towards the same gate where he was insulted. Not for money. Not for job. But because his heart was still kind. He reached the big gate. It was closed. No light. But he saw the small service gate on the side, slightly open. He heard a faint scream from inside the house. His heart froze. What is going on inside? Should he risk his life for the people who threw him out? If you were him, what would you do now? Eli took a deep breath. Rainwater ran down his face like tears. He stepped through the small gate. He knew this property better than anyone. He knew every camera. Every blind spot. Every alarm. He moved quickly, staying close to the wall. He could hear shouting from inside the living room. Grace's voice. Mia crying. A man yelling. "Faster! Put everything in the bag." Eli's hands shook. He felt fear. But he also felt something stronger. He thought of his own son. He thought, if my family was in danger, I would want someone to help. He ran towards the side security room. Even in the storm, he remembered the code. His fingers quickly entered it. Beep. The small backup system inside still had battery. One red button blinked. Emergency lock. If he pressed it, all gates and doors would lock. Nobody could leave the property. Not even the thieves. Eli whispered. "God help me." He hit the button. Inside the house, the front door suddenly locked with a loud click. Windows with electric locks sealed shut. The main iron gate outside shifted and locked harder. The thieves looked around, surprised. "What was that?" one of them shouted. "Who touched the system?" He ran to the front door and pulled. It did not move. "We're locked in," he shouted to his partner. Panic flashed in their eyes. Mr. Carter understood. Someone had activated the emergency lock. But who? The guard was gone. No one else knew. The thief grabbed Mr. Carter by the collar. "You! Open this door." I can't," Mr. Carter stammered. "The old guard knew all the systems better than me. I never bothered to learn." The thief raised his hand to hit him. But then a voice came from behind. "Leave him." They all turned. At the entrance of the living room, Eli stood. Wet. Shivering. But with eyes full of courage. Grace gasped. "Eli!" Mia whispered. "The guard." The thieves stared at him, then laughed. "Oh look, the hero guard is back," one said. "What will you do, old man?" Eli did not answer with words. He moved quickly to the side table and hit the alarm button hidden under it. A loud siren filled the house. Outside the gate, security lights flashed. The thieves panicked. "Turn it off." "Shut him up." One rushed at Eli. They struggled. Eli was not strong. He fell to his knees. The thief raised the metal rod. Mia cried. "Stop. Please stop." But Eli grabbed the thief's leg and twisted it with all his strength. The man slipped on the wet floor and crashed onto the glass table. The other thief ran towards Grace, trying to grab the bag of jewelry. But Mr. Carter, shaking and afraid, stepped in front of his wife for the first time that night. "Leave my family alone," he shouted. The thief punched him in the stomach. Mr. Carter fell, gasping for air. Eli pushed himself up again, even though his body hurt. He shouted. The police are on their way. The whole system is calling them. You can't escape now. The gates are locked. The thieves looked at each other. They knew he was right. They ran towards the backside of the house, trying to find another door. But every door they tried was locked. Every window sealed. Lights outside flashed. Neighbors started noticing the alarm. Someone filmed the scene on their phone from a distance. Police sirens grew louder in the background. The thieves became wild. They rushed back into the living room. The first thief grabbed Eli by the collar. You did this. He screamed. If we get caught, we'll take you down with us. He dragged Eli towards the main door, planning to use him as a shield. But as he pulled, Eli grabbed the thief's arm and shouted, Mr. Carter now. For a moment, Mr. Carter froze. Fear covered his face. He had never fought for anything with his own hands. Then he looked at his crying daughter. His trembling wife. The guard he had thrown out into the storm, now risking his life for them. Something inside him broke. His pride. His arrogance. He jumped forward, grabbed a heavy metal lamp, and hit the thief's arm. The thief screamed and dropped the rod. Mia quickly kicked it away. The other thief tried to run, but the sound of police sirens was now right outside the gate. Blue and red lights flashed through the rain and glass. Police shouted from speakers. Drop your weapons. The house is surrounded. The thieves panicked, ran around like trapped animals, but there was nowhere to go. Officers forced the front door open with tools. They stormed in and arrested the two men. They were handcuffed and dragged outside, past the big iron gate that had once opened and closed again and again under Eli's watch. Now that gate watched something different. Karma. Outside, the rain started to slow down. Inside, the house was a mess. Glass on the floor. Jewelry scattered. Tears everywhere. Mr. Carter stood up slowly. His hands were shaking. He looked at Eli. Eli's lip was bleeding. His clothes were soaked. He held his side where he had fallen. Police officers walked up to Mr. Carter and said, Sir, your emergency system saved your life. Whoever activated it did a great job. Mr. Carter looked at Eli with deep shame in his eyes. It wasn't me, he said softly. It was him. The officer turned to Eli with respect. Well done. You saved this family tonight. Mia walked up to Eli crying. I'm so sorry, she whispered. We always treated you like you were nothing. Grace wiped her tears. Eli, I don't even know what to say. You protected us after the way we behaved. Eli just lowered his eyes. He was too tired to speak. Mr. Carter stepped closer. He felt his throat close. His voice broke. Eli, he said. I fired you. I insulted you. I sent you into the storm like you were trash. He paused. His eyes filled with tears. He had never cried in front of anyone before. But when my own life, when my family's life, was in danger, he continued, you were the only one who came back. Not my rich friends. Not my business partners. You. A tear fell down his cheek. He slowly went down to his knees. Right there, near the entrance. The same house he had always entered with pride. The same place where he had thrown Eli's worth away. Now he knelt in front of him. I'm sorry, Mr. Carter whispered. I was blind. I was arrogant. Please forgive me. Eli's eyes widened. He had never imagined a powerful man like Mr. Carter would kneel before him. The camera would stay on that image for a few seconds. The rich man on his knees. The poor guard standing, injured but strong. If you saw that in real life, what would you feel? Eli slowly reached out and helped Mr. Carter stand up. Sir, he said quietly. I forgive you. But don't just say sorry to me. Learn to respect every person who stands at your gate. You never know when you might need them. Days later, the story spread. Neighbors talked. CCTV footage from the gate and the police report showed everything. Some even shared it online. People watched the rich man on the news, praising his guard. They watched him say, without Eli, my family wouldn't be alive today. Money can't replace loyalty. I was wrong. Mr. Carter rehired Eli. But this time, not as just a simple guard. He made him head of security, with a much bigger salary. He also paid for Eli's son's full medical treatment and school education. One afternoon, as Eli stood at the gate in a new, clean uniform, Mia walked up to him. She smiled shyly and said, Good morning, Mr. Eli. He was surprised. Mr. Eli? She nodded. Yes. My dad says we must respect the people who protect our home. You are not just a guard anymore. Eli smiled. His eyes were soft. He looked at the gate. The storm clouds were gone now. The sky was clear. But he remembered that night. The night the rich man fired the guard in the storm. And the same gate gave him instant karma. Final moral. Never insult people just because they are poor or standing at your gate. The same person you look down on today may be the one who saves you tomorrow.